Today's whole life discussion is with Maisha McAllister, Bikram Yoga teacher since 2017 and owner of Detox to Retox Yoga Party Retreats. Maisha is also the lead singer in the McAllister Family Band. And I wanted to talk to Maisha today because she is truly living her best life and creating the reality that she desires. With her yoga retreats and as a Bikram yoga teacher, Maisha has a big laugh and she is
Welcome,
hilarious. You will
Maisha
love hearing from her.
McAllister, Bikram Yoga teacher,
Yes.
singer in the McAllister Family Band,
Yes.
and owner of Detox to Retox. Yes,
Yes.
Detox
Yes.
to Retox. Um, I am so excited to have you here and to meet you virtually. We haven't met in person, so hopefully we'll get to do that really soon.
Oh, yeah. Maybe on one of my retreats.
Oh, maybe so.
Mm-hmm.
So, but definitely at one of your yoga classes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So like I said, haven't met you in person. I'm so inspired by your energy and your positivity. And so I wanted to invite you here, one, so I can get to know you better. And the main reason is because I saw a post that you made, and your post stated that when you became a Bikram yoga teacher, your intention or your desire was to travel the world teaching yoga, but because you're a mom and a wife, you weren't able to do that just yet. And
Yeah.
to me, you are doing it with Detox to Retox.
Sure
So
am.
I'm excited that you're creating your own reality. And I love that, which is why I wanted to talk to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Donna. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. So tell me a bit about who you are. Yes, I got yoga teacher and singer in the McAllister Family Band, but tell me more about who you are.
Okay. Well, I grew up in a little town in Erie, PA. I am Nigerian. My dad's Nigerian. My mom's African American, so I'm a Nigerian American, and my background is in marketing and communications. Hence why you see me always posting and marketing about all different things in my life. Yeah, and I just became a Bikram yoga instructor in 2014 because I loved doing yoga so much that I was calling off of work and, coming in late because all I wanted to do was be in the hot room. So I decided that I wanted to become a teacher. Also, I really love the aspect of healing people, giving them relief after a class. That gives me joy. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I guess that's what I do.
Okay. So let's talk about that healing aspect of Bikram yoga. So I've talked to many people. My hometown is Louisiana. So I talk to people I invite people who live here in the DMV, but the people in Louisiana, I try to encourage them to go, but that 105 degrees is a major turnoff. Tell me a bit about how this yoga is healing and how is it different from any other yoga other than the temperature?
So the heat aspect really facilitates better circulation, which I think a lot of people are plagued with poor circulation. We're sitting, our blood is just sitting there being stale. And when we add the heat to the yoga, it stimulates the blood flow, thins out the blood so that more oxygen can flow through the blood and go to all the places that we need it. Because obviously what we need to live is oxygen. And so that's where the heat comes from. Also, the heat is designed for a mental discipline. You're sitting there, the heat is there, and you're thinking in your head, oh, I'm going to die. I can't make it. I can't breathe, and that's just the mind playing tricks on you. And so the heat allows you, if you can last, which anybody can, stay there and let the mind go through what it's going through. Those feelings of discomfort will pass. And then you'll eventually realize how beneficial the heat is for the yoga. Also, cold yoga, people tend to get more injured. And with the hot yoga, it makes the muscles more malleable and soft so that you can get into these postures with less injury. So there's a lot of beneficial aspects to the heat. And, I feel like in order to get to heaven, you got to go through a little hell first. And that's what Bikram yoga is. Do you want to suffer for 90 minutes or do you want to suffer for 90 years? That's what Bikram always says. And everybody's like, 90 minutes. And he's like, okay, good choice. So yeah, it's so many benefits: stress relief, anxiety, back pain, knee pain. You're hitting every single muscle, bone, joint, ligament in the 90-minute Bikram yoga. So I just keep telling people to go. Sometimes it takes 10 years for somebody to realize they need to step into the hot room. And once they do, they're like, yes, I can't believe I waited this long. So don't ever give up on those Louisiana people.
I invited one of my friends and we were in Louisiana and she literally sat the whole 90 minutes. And I'm like, that's fine. You stayed in the room. That's the whole goal. Your first class, just stay in the room. And she's like, no, Donna, I just want you to know I'm never coming back. It's like, but I have a whole lot more respect for all of you people who practice this yoga. I'm like, yes. Okay, that's fair.
I know. People want automatic relief and don't want to work for the relief. They want a pill or they want to, somebody to talk them into change. But when it comes to like doing it ourselves and going through the pain, people are, it's just hard for people to work for their relief, their health, and yeah. So and I feel bad. I don't know what people do. Since I've been doing Bikram yoga, I just feel so bad for people who don't do it. I'm like, what do you do? How do you sweat your stuff out? It just stays impacted in you.
Yeah, and that's true. The sweating part of it is detoxifying. Mm-hmm. And in a Bikram yoga class, you can burn minimum 500 calories.
Yes. It's a one-stop shop. Yeah. You're burning fat, you're gaining muscle, you're getting anxiety relief. You could use it for your spiritual, you can use it to pray and meditate. It's so much in that one class. You don't have to do anything else. If you had a regular Bikram yoga practice, you don't have to do anything else.
I totally agree with you. You've been teaching yoga since 2014. Mm-hmm. And when did you start Detox to Retox and why?
Okay, so Detox to Retox is a saying that some Bikram teachers, you'll hear them say this, we detox to retox, meaning we sweat it out and then we might go to the bar and have a drink, so it's always been a saying in the hot room amongst Bikram instructors. So that's where I kind of got it. But you said it. Before I was married and had a child, I wanted to be a travel teacher and just go to different places and teach and just, be a nomad. And then I became, married with child. And I was like, how can I still do my dream in a, smaller aspect? And so I was like, retreats be perfect. I can plan a retreat and then I can attend it and do all the things that I want to do. So that's where the retreat aspect came from. And so I've always been a party girl, true story. I started doing Bikram in 2007 because I partied too hard in Las Vegas and ended up getting a DUI. So I'm not ashamed. So I got the DUI. Thank God, I was okay. But my mother said to me, Maisha, you need to do this yoga. She was doing it in DC, I think at Capitol Hill. And she's like, you need to do this yoga. It's called Bikram yoga. You need to get your life right, Maisha. Stop partying and do some yoga. And I was like, okay, Ma, okay. And so I found a studio in Las Vegas and I took my first class and I was like, that was it. I loved it. And so then after my first class, I did a 30-day challenge with my mom. She was in DC, I was in Vegas, and we both did a 30-day challenge together. And so that's where my love for Bikram yoga came. It came through that despair of partying too hard. So fast forward, I come up with Detox to Retox to find the perfect balance of a little party and a lot of detoxifying. So, I took my two loves of having fun and doing yoga, and I brought them together. I currently am a non-drinker now, so it's kind of funny that I'm doing this detox to retox because it's all about having fun, and we're going to have a live DJ and bartender, and we're going to be doing yoga and gourmet food. But I also realized the underlying part of detox to retox was to find your inner fun child. So I'm a loud laugher. I like to laugh loud. I've been laughing loud since I was like 10. And people always say, Maisha, I could hear your laugh from the third floor, or I could hear you from around the corner. And I'm like, good, And one day I was laughing loud, and one of my friends was like, can you just be quiet? And I was like, why? Why should I be quiet? I'm having fun, and that moment I felt bad for that person and anybody that cannot laugh out loud, cannot just lose their inhibitions and let loose. So I realized in the last year or two that detox to retox was not just about yoga and partying, but it was also about letting go of society's confines and stop being pent up and start just laughing and finding your childhood joy that you used to have back when you were a kid. I feel like a lot of adults have lost that, and I want to bring that back to them through this retreat.
Oh, that's great. And I agree with you. I tell people all the time that I'm forever young.
Yes.
And yeah, because of Bikram Yoga and other areas of fitness, I am really grateful that my body is still strong.
Yes.
And there is a lot that I'm still able to do from childhood because I have maintained that. And so I love that, someone maybe tried to discourage you a bit with your voice, but you had the strength and the courage to just be yourself. And that's so important.
And they also say Bikram yoga is like the fountain of youth. So look at us. I mean, I can't tell how old you are. I know, and that yoga also helps to stay youthful and limber. So yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. I also read about a retreat wizard challenge.
Yes.
What is a retreat wizard challenge? Tell me about this challenge. And
it's been a lifesaver for me because it's my second time doing a retreat. I'm doing it internationally, so I'm having some challenge through COVID times and people being scared to travel and recession and all that. I needed to find a way to just keep consistent with my marketing, find new ways to market. So I found this retreat wizard challenge through Hargabend Calza, who owns Casa Om Potomac and Casa Om in Mexico. The Retreat Wizard Challenge was like a 5-day course, free course that helped you find your different ways to market your retreat. And Hargabend Calza is amazing. If anybody can find him, he's got the recordings of the retreat challenge, and you can learn more about starting your own retreat.
Tell me about the McAllister Family Band.
Oh gosh.
So first of all, I thought this was something you just started doing. It looks like you've been doing this forever.
We've been doing, so we haven't done it in a while, but we started it in 2015. It all started, my husband plays the guitar, and one day he was playing the guitar and he said, Maisha, I don't think you really care about my music and my guitar playing. And I was like, yes, I do. And he was like, I was like, well, why don't you play a song and I'll sing it with you and we'll record it. And that'll show you that I care about your music. I'll sing with you. And he was like, okay. So the very first song we did was Red Hot Chili Peppers, Suck My Kiss. and I don't know if you heard of it. It's a good song. It's a funky song. So we did it, and that was in 2015, and it was just me and him. And then we were like, oh my gosh, we love the product. It made us feel good to to see this video, and we're like, why don't we post it on Facebook? And you're like, okay. So we posted it, and everybody was like, oh my God, I love it, you guys are so raw and fun, and it just made people feel good. So we were like, why don't we bring our daughter into it? And at the time she was like 4 or 5, and we were like, why don't we bring her into it? So we were like, okay. So the next song we did was Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. And Kira was headbanging, and it was like darn, 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 darn. And so that video just kind of went mini viral, and everybody loved it, and they were just like, oh, your family just brings us so much joy. And so we were like, you know what, why don't we just do this every Friday? We're going to learn a song on that day, and then we're going to sing it and record it, and we'll send it out to the world. So we did that for about from 2015 to probably about 2020. Kira became like 10 or 11, and she was like, I'm done. I'm going solo. Like, this is kind of silly, and I'm not doing it. Like, when we started forcing her, like, come on, Kira. We were like, all right, it's time for us to chill out. I can't sing, but I would have fun doing it. I just put my energy out there, and, put myself out there, and it just made people feel good. So it made us feel good to make people feel good. That's why we just kept doing it. And our daughter loved it for a long time. She loved it. So, and it was a family event that we got to do together.
Yeah, I think that's cool to come together to do something positive. You're supporting his, proving to him, yes, I do appreciate your music.
Exactly.
And you're having fun doing it. And so, do you have any rituals or any practices that you do on a daily basis to keep you with this positive energy? And none of us are perfect. It requires practice. It requires us to become centered.
Well, I'm the nap queen. I take a lot of naps. I'll wake my daughter up and get her in the shower, and I'll go back and take a nap. And I'm not ashamed. I like to sleep a little bit. I've started doing acupuncture, which has been very healing for me. Yoga has been an everyday thing. Like, I try and make sure that I stay up on my yoga or my fitness. I do go to a therapist, and I love her. She's amazing. And she also has told me, that I have to do more self-care for myself. So, I'm starting to add things like, bubble bath once a month, or actually meditating, taking 5 minutes to just be quiet. That's why I'm adding more self-care activities to my routine.
Okay.
But yeah, singing, I love to sing. Music is a big part of my world. Listening to music will just take me from low to high. Music is so therapeutic for me. So I always try to find those songs that help me stay up. But yeah, that's about it. I'm adding more. I'm always looking for more rituals to do the self-care.
So I don't know if you know this, but I'm a death doula.
Yes, I heard about that.
So my next question is
interesting.
It is very interesting, and the way it started is really because of COVID. It actually started way before COVID, but I didn't recognize it. I just started a walking meditation, and during that walking meditation, I noticed flowers dying in blossom. They were both, it could be one rose bush, and they're on that one rose bush, there's some roses dying, and some are just being born, and then there's some in full bloom. And it's like, as I continue to walk, I just notice death is everywhere. It's all around us all the time. And that's when I came to terms with being a death doula. I'm like, this is what I've been called to do. So I just continued on that path after COVID. However, my question for you is, do you ever think about your own end of life?
Oh, I do. It's a scare. For me, it's funny because growing up, I never really saw death that much. the first person who died close to me was my stepdad, and I was 30. And I'm 42 now. So like I was never hit with death. On the other hand, my husband was hit with so much death that he is kind of, like a little traumatized by the whole idea. So I've never thought about my death plan. I always at night is when I get fearful about death, because it seems like every time you hear something, it's like at night somebody calls you at late at night and says something's happened, and like I used to have a lot of fear of going to bed because I was scared that something death was going to happen. So it's been, in my older years, it's something that I've been fearing, like my mother, or anybody. So I haven't thought about it, but I always say to myself, I'm going to live a long life. I'm going to live until I'm 90. My grandmothers are still alive. They're in their 80s. And I just keep saying, if I can live till like 80 something, I'll just be happy with dying then. Like, I just don't want to die young. I don't want to see my child die or my husband die. I want to be the first one to go, but I want to be old. I want us all to go together. It's
Yeah.
but no, I never thought about my death plan. I actually have thought about, I would like to be cremated and put into the roots of a tree.
Oh,
That commercial where you could be made into a tree and then
yes.
just bloom. That's how I would like to be made into a tree.
Last week I visited a green cemetery in Annapolis, Maryland. And so
Wow.
a green cemetery or green burial is really where your body is not cremated, it's not embalmed, you're not in a casket,
Okay.
you're just placed in the ground.
Oh, I like that.
I want to be covered in a shroud. I want my children to prepare my body, which they're totally against. So I gotta have
Yes.
some death doula friends to help them out with
Oh
that.
yeah. I can't
But
do no, mama. That'll be me. Mama, no.
and that would probably be my children. But for me, it would be like an honor to be with
Yeah.
my mother or to be with any family member. But the green burial is an area reserved just for your body to decompose, and you're giving back to the earth. You're nourishing the earth. You're going back to the dust where you were formed from. The cemetery I visited in it's called Best Gate. It was a cute cemetery. So and there's so many options today, so many more burial options. Like you said, you can be buried but with a tree. There's aquamation where you could be turned into compost. Did you know that?
No.
Yes.
Oh, God.
There's so
Wow.
much now. So you said you want to live to be 90. I got a question. Let's in our mind's eye go to that 90-year-old Maisha.
Yes.
She's looking back over her life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to share, who are you as a person at 90 years old? What do you value about the way you have lived your life? And what is most meaningful to you at 90 years old as you look back over your life?
So I feel like I still want to be a yoga teacher. I never want to retire. So I just feel like I'm going to be 90, like, raise your arms in the air, teaching yoga. I've always felt like an alien. Like I'm not a consumer, I'm a minimalist. I like to call myself a hippie. Um, I don't value buying the latest fashion or following the trends. But it always makes me feel a little out of place. But I do value that. I think 90-year-old Maisha is going to be happy that she didn't conform. And she always kept it real. And I see 90-year-old Maisha still laughing loudly and telling stories about my journeys and adventures in life. Because I feel like I want to have a lot more of journeys and adventures to new places and seeing new people. 90-year-old Maisha values being able to relate to anybody. I mean, I was in Peru and there was this 10-year-old boy, and he didn't speak English and I spoke a little bit of Spanish, but we laughed and had a good time. And I taught him yoga, and we had this energy that we created, and we were from two different worlds. And I'm very good at relating to people of who are completely different from me, and I can just um, find a common ground between us, or put a smile on their face. And I value that. I value having big energy, and the ability to make somebody smile and feel good. And I think 90-year-old Maisha would be proud that she could relate to anybody, that she didn't conform, and that she explored the world and, you know, lived life the way she wanted to, by her terms and not by everybody else's terms. You know, she didn't need a Gucci bag to feel, you know, good about life, you know.
Right.
Not that I'm knocking anybody that likes Gucci or nothing, but, you know.
So what do you think 90-year-old Maisha would think or believe her legacy? Though we never know our legacy. So our legacy is, you know, every life that we touch. And obviously we can't have a clue about that. You don't know who was watching you and that little boy in Peru. You know, who knows whose life you touched in that moment outside of the young person you were having a conversation with. So we don't really know our legacy, but we can be intentional about the way we live and the way we want this thing to end. So what do you believe your legacy will be?
You know, it might sound cliche because you see this on signs at Target, but she lived, she laughed loudly, and she loved, you know, deeply. You know, she did, and I feel like that is my legacy. Just sharing energy, sharing positive energy with people. I can sense energies. I feel like, I don't know if I'm touched or anything, but I can feel prickly energy, and I can turn prickly energy into loving energy as well. You know, sometimes I'll dispel it because I'm not energetically filled up to do it. But when I see someone who's low energy or negative, it's easy for me to turn it into a positive feeling. You know, I'm just gonna smile and be like, hey, da, 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 and then they have no choice but to like turn their frown upside down. So I think my legacy is, you know, I lived, laughed, loved, and energy, shared positive energy with whoever I met, you know.
Our legacy really is really not about us. It
Mm-hmm.
really is about what we left in the world. And, you know, people look at, you know, leaders and billionaires, and they look up to them because they're leaders and billionaires. But it really is about the footprint, the message, the lesson that they left with us.
Yes.
And so I think that's very beautiful.
And, you know, to add to that, thank you. To add to that, I just realized I'm a connector. I've realized that I connect people together. So I'm really good at creating communities where people, you know, may not have talked to each other if they're on the street, but Maisha can connect these two people together, and they become really good friends, which is one of the reasons for my retreat, because you know, you bring people together from all walks of life, and with my energy, I'm able to connect them and have them find a commonality, or something that relates them to somebody that they would never think they could relate to, you know.
I think that's beautiful.
Thank you.
I think you also probably have no idea how many people you've touched through the yoga that you teach. I've read comments about, one recent comment about your ability to, as a person is struggling through a yoga class, how you have the ability to keep them laughing and positive, and before you know it, the 90 minutes is over.
Yeah, yeah, yes, I've heard that. I've heard that a lot, and it's very humbling, and it just makes me feel good that I can get somebody to get out of their head for a little bit and you know, get through something that's tough through comedy, through, you know, laughter, and just sharing positive energy, which is why I never want to retire.
Yeah, well,
Because it gives me energy in life too, to be able to make someone else feels good. It gives me, it pumps my energy up. It's just reciprocal. I need it too.
well, that's really why I wanted to interview you, because your energy is, you are hilarious.
Thank you.
You're not only hilarious, you are vulnerable, and you are, you put yourself out there to serve other people. I mean, it might make you feel good, but like even with the McAllister family band, you were doing it because other people also were benefiting from it. And that is really great. You don't mind putting yourself in a position that most people find uncomfortable. You probably know this, but one of the biggest fears people face is public speaking,
Yes. Yes.
Or they
Especially when you can't sing. You know.
I think you do pretty good. You do pretty
Yeah.
good.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, there were days where we were actually not in a good mood. And we were like, yo, we have to do this video tonight. All right. People are counting on us. Get it together, Kira. Just because we wanted to serve the community and make them feel good.
So this Detox to Retox retreat, it's July 10th through 14th.
Yes.
And where are you going again?
We're going to Grand Caymen Islands. I've booked us 4 villas to join in on the very first yoga party retreat. Detox to Retox.
I wish you so much success.
You.
Yeah, your personality, your laugh, your big laugh, not just a laugh, it's intoxicating. And so I just wish you all the best on your retreat. And you are a teacher at the Breathing Dragon Yoga Harbor Point.
Yes, 1321 Dock Street, right on the water of downtown Baltimore.
Oh, nice. Another reason to come to downtown Baltimore.
Yes.
But the main reason is to meet you, because I have not met you in person.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Give each other a big old hug once I see you.
I want to leave you with a not so positive, but hopefully motivating statistic. And this isn't even a statistic about African American women. It's just about all women. And so I think this number is lower for I know that it's lower for African American women. And it really is to encourage you to think about your end of life plan. Average age of a widow, a married woman, when she becomes a widow, is 59. And so my encouragement to you is to consider, my heart is to women, for women. Not that I don't, Kira is a woman in the making. And, and of course I care about your husband as well, but we take care of so many other people. We expend so much energy outside of ourselves. And we don't always think about ourselves. So I'm glad you have your therapist helping you to focus on the self-care. I'm gonna add this to your self-care list. Get that end of life plan. Just get the thoughts, and I'll send you a document, some things you can think about.
Yes.
And as you're thinking about it, also you and your husband, it really does help. Like you said, if your mom or a family member or somebody, you had to take care of their body, you would be losing it. End of life planning actually helps the person who is having to deal with all of your end of life affairs. I hope that doesn't sound like we ended on like a morbid or no.
No. Actually, no, because 4 years ago, Kira Joey and Kira were on Light and Pratt Street. A car was coming straight for them onto the sidewalk. Joey picks Kira up, throws her over his back, and then he gets hit by a car with two other people.
Wow.
So shock trauma, all that. And yeah, so no, I know. Like, I'm glad that you reminded me, because that experience could have gone a whole nother way. And it's good for me to prepare. So I'm thank you for putting that in my mind. Yeah.
You're welcome. So, all right. Where can people find you on social media? I know you got a McAllister family band IG account. You got your own IG account. Please share.
Maisha McAllister. You can find me as Maisha McAllister. You can find me, join the private Facebook group Detox to Retox Retreat. You can find me on the McAllister Family Band. I'm also on Instagram, Maisha Loves Bikram, and also the McAllister Family Band on Instagram, and Detox to Retox Retreat.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Donna.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Best Life of Wellbeing.